All right, let's jump right in. We're going to talk about something fascinating today. That feeling, that awful feeling when your mind just goes completely blank under pressure. We all beat ourselves up over it, right? We think it's a failure. But what if it's not? What if it's your brain doing exactly what it was designed to do? You know the moment I'm talking about. Have you ever been there? Maybe you're in a huge job interview, or you're up on stage giving a presentation. You've practiced, you know this stuff inside and out. But then, the spotlight hits and, poof, it's all gone. Your mind is just an empty room. It's so frustrating, and it happens to pretty much everyone. So, in that moment, what's the first thing we think? What's that story we tell ourselves? Well, it's almost always a really negative one. We immediately jump to the conclusion that it's a personal flaw, a sign that we just can't handle the pressure. And this, right here, this is our inner critic's greatest hits album, isn't it? We tell ourselves we're just panicking, that it's a total sign of weakness, or, my personal favorite, we convince ourselves we must have been poorly prepared, even if we spent weeks getting ready. This is the failure myth we've all learned to believe. But here's the twist. Here's the part that changes everything. That whole story, that entire explanation we've been telling ourselves our whole lives, it's just wrong. See, the truth behind that blank moment isn't some kind of psychological failure. Nope, it's something else entirely. It's a biological switch. So, what in the world is a biological switch? Well, think of it like this. Your nervous system has this built-in safety feature. When it senses really high stress, it literally starts rerouting power in your brain. It pulls energy away from the parts that do complex analytical thinking and shoves all of that power toward the parts responsible for immediate, physical, get-out-of-there-now action. It's a feature, not a bug. And this is where it gets really interesting when you see it side by side. What we feel as panic is actually our brain's ancient survival program kicking into high gear. What feels like weakness is just a massive reallocation of brain power. And what we see as a total error is really our biology choosing speed over everything else. Okay, so it's a switch, we get that. But how does it actually work? What is physically happening inside our brain to make that switch flip and put us into survival mode? Let's break it down. Now, this quote, this is absolutely key. Stress isn't just a feeling, like being worried or overwhelmed. It is a physical, measurable state. It's a signal that kicks off a powerful, real-world chain reaction in your body. And this chain reaction happens in the blink of an eye. Seriously. First, your brain detects a threat, and it doesn't care if it's a saber-toothed tiger or a really tough question from your boss. Instantly, the nervous system lights up. That triggers the resource reallocation we were just talking about, shifting power away from things like memory and complex thought, and instead, it prioritizes getting your body ready for pure survival action. Once you understand this biological reality, it completely changes the game. It gives us a brand new and honestly a much more empowering way to think about what's really going on when our minds go blank. And if there's one thing you remember from this, let it be this right here. Your brain's biological switch is not designed to help you sound smart in a meeting. It's designed to help you physically escape a predator. And in that situation, being fast is way more important than being thoughtful. Your brain is optimizing for a quick escape, not a wise answer. So why does this matter so much? Because it means you can stop blaming yourself. Your brain isn't failing you in those high-pressure moments. In fact, it's succeeding brilliantly at a totally different and much more ancient task. It's running a survival program that will always choose raw speed over careful analytical insight. And just knowing that shifts the whole story from one of personal failure to one of simple biological function. And that, of course, brings us to a final, really powerful idea. If going blank is just the result of a biological switch and not some deep character flaw, well, that raises a pretty amazing question, doesn't it? Can we actually learn to recognize that switch and maybe, just maybe, learn how to flip it ourselves?